Yeah, sorry.
There you go. You look like Ernie Davis.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Derek talked to you?
Yes, sir. He sure did. He sure did.
Did you get a chance to review what I kind of read off?
Yeah, I had some questions. I've only listened to maybe 75% of audio 1, and there was 2 audios. I haven't had a chance to listen to the whole thing yet.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I should do that. You think I should go back and
we can add live it. I mean, there's not a whole lot more to the last part.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, what I'm trying to accomplish here is, give them an overview of what we're at and what they're trying to do with me, and then ask people to, if they wanted to donate, to be able to get a couple witnesses down here from Nebraska.
Right.
I don't think that'd be abusing anybody.
Amen.
And it's not that horribly expensive to have somebody fly down.
Okay.
Fly back the same day. I don't know. I'm facing 6 years, so.
Yeah, that's crazy, Paul. That's absolutely insane.
It is. Shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know why they ever calculate the time that way. It just doesn't even make sense at all. I mean, to me, it's more like a 1 day in jail type violation.
Right. It's just it didn't stop anybody from buying the property, and the way they came at you with a SWAT team when you asked a question about fingerprints. I guess they had your fingerprints on file already, so why would they require you to go all the way to Florida from Nebraska? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. And I mean, my time is worth something. I mean, it's not like I have every right to challenge jurisdiction if they have authority to do that. I mean, it's very possible they didn't have authority to do that. Even if they do have it, I still should be told what authority that is.
Right.
I mean, a man has to tell me he has authority to tell me to do that.
Right. It seems only fair to ask what authority and what law it gives them the right to require you to go all the way to Florida to get fingerprints. Absolutely absurd.
Right. Yeah, the United States can't tell me to fly to Florida. Somebody has to believe that that a specific law applies to me where I'm at. It's just common sense.
Makes sense. Yeah. Let me say this too, Paul, and I don't know if you want to make a statement. I know that I have those audios from Derek. Did you want me to publish the audios from Derek, or how do you want me to handle those?
Well, I thought if you want to review that thing a little bit better,
okay,
and then I could redo it,
okay,
with your improvements on it, and then you'd have some. Then when I'm done, you'll have some questions to go with it.
Right.
Now the audio that I told him was just for the general public. It's not the one that I'm going to add another audio, maybe video also, for the people that I want to write the letters and possibly come down to Florida.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a 2-part. One to the general public, just to let them know what's going on, and maybe they can donate if they wish. And none of the money that they're going to give me is going to be wasted. You can always go to the legal fund of trying to write a brief to have the case vacated completely.
Yeah. No.
And then, might be used to give me a little bit of food every week.
Right.
$20 toward that a week or something.
Yeah.
And then also getting the people down here for a witness type thing. So. If a lot of people help, it doesn't cost anybody very much money. So
yeah. No, I don't think that's going to be a problem, Paul. A lot of people are very concerned that you're being mistreated, and that you didn't do anything you didn't do anything wrong at all, and that I got to say that even if you clouded a title, which I don't think you did, and there was no evidence in the court that you did. What's that got to do with 6 years? I mean, you mailed a legal letter, for goodness sake, and you're looking at possibly 6 years? That's the most insane thing I've ever heard of in my life. I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone, but I think I did talk with Racer X. We are going to make sure that people are aware of your situation to the best of our ability, and I think it's just outrageous, Paul. And I didn't know if you wanted to make a statement. I do have some questions. I didn't know how you wanted to handle this, but I want to make sure you.
Yeah. If you want to go ahead and run, it's all right if you've been taping this so far.
Yeah.
But I just recommend anytime you answer, just start the recording immediately. You don't even have to ask me. Never.
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
So just go ahead and ask me questions, and we'll go from there.
Okay, give me just a second. I've got them here. Let me put them in a notepad real quick. All right, Paul. Here's questions from Racer X. He runs the he runs the freekenthovind.com website. He writes this, Paul. He says, you filed a liens and a quiet title on CSC properties in 2011, and Judge Rodgers didn't even put in an order to stop CSC from filing any more liens until 2012. What makes Judge Rodgers or the prosecution think they have any evidence for count 6, which is a contempt of court regarding property?
Well, count 6 is related to an order where they told me, first they took those first liens that we filed, and they said they were null and void, which means they were unable to cloud the title by court order. So Judge Rodgers made that ruling that our liens were not supported by any facts. Even though we didn't get our day of trial, we didn't get to put anything on the record. We weren't even invited to the hearing. And so they just summarily removed the liens, and which is not that big a deal, because our goal was not to really force a lien issue. Our deal was just to give notice that we're being wronged by the United States here. A church is having its property taken away without law. We had this church set up in a jurisdiction that was independent of the United States. The law in America is common law. It's not United States legislative written law. It is common law. Yeah. The law in the United States is United States written law, the Constitution and congressional legislative written law. But this church operated in common law. Common law is protected by the jury of 12. It's not protected. It's not even associated in any way with congressional made law or the United States Constitution in any way at all. So we were completely independent of the United States. Any issue that anybody or any entity would have with us was to go to a common law setting, and they could state their claim before a jury of 12. The jury of 12 to decide the law and the facts. This is something the United States system doesn't want anybody to know, because the United States system would have in their system, they got a 98 or 99% conviction rate. In common law, it's probably down to 15%.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Or much less.
Right.
And in common law, there isn't no judge or attorney that's protecting the truth from being exposed to for the American people to view. For example, the truth that you don't have to have a relationship with the United States. You can be independent. You don't have to join their Social Security system, their any of their government welfare systems. You can completely be independent of them. They have completely enough assets. They own 24% of America. Isn't that enough to defend our country and to support the government from any invasion? And if an invasion does help the people that are living independent of the United States, they've always been eager to stand in arms and be allowed to be consent to being drafted and go to World War II, for example. But anyway, they don't want anybody to know that our country is based on common law, that we can live independent of the United States, and that the United States is created primarily for a military purpose. It's greatly gone past that, and one of the most fearful things in America is to be in front of a U.S. court these days.
Yeah.
The Founding Fathers said that if you ever lose your jury, your trial by jury, you will be in bondage. No question about it. They made it very clear that if you lose your jury of 12, you're going to be in bondage. Now, they claim that when you go into a U.S. court, you get a trial by jury. But that jury is handpicked by the United States. You have to be a United States subject. You have to be in their system to be on that jury. The jury is controlled tremendously by the attorneys and the judges. And you don't have hardly... And the jury doesn't get to determine the law of the case. So if Congress says it's against the law to wear a red shirt, the jury has to determine that you had a red shirt on, you get 5 years in jail. Now, a common law court would never put you in jail for wearing a red shirt because it didn't do anybody harm. But anyway, it creates an environment for tremendous amount of abuse. What ends up happening is a man like Kent Hovind can go to jail for 10 years without violating a single man's rights or a single person's rights.
Yeah.
In the U.S. system, a common law court would have never found Kent guilty. Never,
right.
Because they would have got a fair trial. The United States would have been exposed. That the truth would have been shown that Kent never had a duty with the United States. That he had an absolute right to live independent of them. The whole thing's a horrible injustice and a horrible misrepresentation of the truth of the proper existence of the United States.
Amen. Amen.
What question did you ask?
No. That's good. I want, first of all, before I go back to the question, Paul, I wanted to say a word of encouragement that a lot of people are looking at this, and a lot of people are asking, like, why are you in jail? And they don't understand it, and it doesn't make any sense. And even if that thing says 5.3 to 6.3 years, I can't imagine that actually being given. Not only that, there's just too much light on this case. And I just want to let you know that we ain't going to forget about you. And Kent Hovind is going to get out on August the 9th, and he's going to make sure that things are dealt with in the best possible way. So I just want to let you know we ain't going to forget about you, brother. What can you tell us what happened? Can you elaborate a little bit on what happened with this 5.3 to 6.3 years? What happened to give you the idea that...
In contempt charges, the standard for jail time is not even listed. There is no minimum. There is no max. The attorney said that the judge could give me life if he wanted to. That's highly unlikely, but 5-10 years is not out of the question. Whatever they feel. If they feel that you're, what generally happens is, here's 10 years. If you don't like it, appeal.
Wow.
Look what happened to Kent Hovind.
Right.
He did not violate one single law. Not one law did he violate. All he did wrong was he had trusted an attorney to defend himself, who completely sold him out, left him stranded. He got 10 years for doing nothing wrong. Now, if Kent can get 10 years for doing nothing wrong, who's to think that I can't get 5 years?
Yeah.
Or 6 years?
Right.
Who's to think I can? It's absolutely highly probable that they'll say, 5-6 years, you've clearly indicated that Kent got accused of being worse than a rapist.
Yeah. That's
worse than
right.
A rapist.
Yep.
He was accused of being... The judge said he was running a criminal organization.
Right.
Now, how can you be running a criminal organization when you're not doing anything wrong? It's a horrific environment to twist the truth where people on this side of heaven never find out the truth.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
They just don't find the they don't find the truth, and 10 years later they still don't know the truth. Thank God the Bible says that the truth will come out. People that do evil things are going to be paid in full, apart from the grace of God. And but as far as the 5.3 years minimum that they're recommending for me is based on the amount of money that they claim that I was trying to encumber, $430,000, which is kind of ridiculous, because Kent Hovind's family bought that property back and paid off the vast majority of the judgment already. They've been trying to do it for years. For years they've been trying to do it, asking the United States to put it up for sale so that they can pay for it. And they just kept delaying it. I think they might have delayed it on purpose, hoping that Kent or somebody in the trustees would do something, and they go, we got you. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised one bit that that's what's happened.
Right.
To answer your question in a nutshell, there's $430,000 that they're claiming is being encumbered, even though there's no evidence on the record that my document, my mailing, had any delay in any sale at all. All they have is an attorney saying that it clouded the title, but when the same attorney was asked how did it cloud the title, he couldn't produce any evidence that he's even communicated to anybody that my document ever clouded a title. He couldn't produce any letter, any email, any phone call where he was found telling a client that wanted to buy the property that it has been encumbered by Paul Hansen's letter. Not one shred of evidence that he communicated to anybody that my document clouded the title in any way, until he got into the witness stand and the attorney asked him, did it cloud the title? And he sharply said yes, just like he was. I got the strong impression that he was coached to say yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he really wanted to say yes. I think he was coached to say yes.
Yeah.
Because he knew that as soon as he said yes, we were going to ask him, well, how did it cloud the title? He didn't have it. He didn't have an answer to it.
Yeah. Because it didn't cloud the title. Yeah, it doesn't prevent anybody from buying the property, and so it doesn't affect anybody, from actually buying the property. It simply lets them know that there could be pending litigation. It doesn't stop anybody from doing anything with the property. Paul, we're coming down to less than 5 minutes. Can you elaborate a bit more on this letter that you received, and who specifically is recommending you get a minimum of 5.3 years? Who is doing that specifically?
Well, the government basically hires people to put a pre-sentencing report together, and they look at the case, they look at the charges, and they put their recommendation in.
Wow. Okay, so it's called a.
So what's interesting with the cloud in the title? Nothing has ever been altered or lifted, or any document filed to remove any cloud.
Yeah.
My so-called cloud on the title has never been addressed. There is no cloud on the title. If there was, they would have put in documents to have the cloud removed.
Right.
Go ahead.
No. So we're coming down to less than 3 or 4 minutes, but you basically at a high level, Paul, you were part of the ministerial trust, and you were charged. You were like duty bound to try to protect property that are part of the trust, and part of that property was the CSC, this property in Pensacola, Florida, right? And so you were charged with that duty, and you mailed off a legal document. Now, you were told to come down to Florida and give your fingerprints, and you sent a message back, and I guess you wrote them a letter, and you said, why do I need to go to Florida? Because you have my fingerprints on file already. Why should I go to Florida? My time is worth something, right? And their response to your letter was a SWAT team with U.S. Marshals, and they arrested you, and you've been sitting in Pensacola, Florida since October of last year? Is that basically what's going on?
Yeah, 8 years ago, they sent me a letter. They told me to fly to Florida to get my fingerprints. I told him, you guys got at least 10 sets of my fingerprints already.
Yeah.
And I said, just show me the law that requires me to leave Nebraska and go to Florida. They refused to do it to me.
Right.
I asked for it on email, so there's evidence. And it was even put into the court record that I asked for this law. It only took them 10 seconds to give me the law in court, but they wouldn't give it to me on the internet.
Okay.
But what law required me to show up in Pensacola to give fingerprints? And they wouldn't give it to me.
Right. And so you asked that question, what law requires me to go to Florida to give my fingerprints? And their response was a SWAT team to your house to arrest you and force you to go to Santa Rosa County Jail.
Yes, I was basically walked out of my house and they surrounded me with guns aimed at my head.
Wow.
Assault rifles aimed at my head and in front of all my neighbors.
Wow.
And 5 cars surrounded my house. And just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Right. All they had to do is tell me the law that they were relying upon. And you know, when somebody tells me the law they're relying upon, see, that way I could put that person in the witness stand someday. They don't want to do that. They don't want to tell me who is claiming that law applies to me because it makes one man liable. They don't like to do that. They don't want to do it.
Right.
By law, they have to do it.
Yep.
I see we got 1 minute left.
Yeah. If you could call Racer X, Paul, you know who Racer X is?
Yes.
He's asking that you call him, and you do want me to get the audio out from Derek's call. That is a correct assumption?
With some editing.
Yeah, I think it's good enough to go ahead and run that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got less than a minute, Paul. You're welcome to call back. I'm going to put some more money on the home wave. You're always welcome to call here no matter what. We're not going to forget about you, brother, and I think it's absolutely absurd that you're looking at nearly 5 years for merely mailing a legal letter. I mean, that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard of in my life, and we're going to do everything we can to bring as much noise and shine as much light, just like Gideon's Army did, brother.
Thank you, yeah. And that letter, all it did was just prepare our stage. It was a stage letter saying that we're going to end up going into court someday, and this letter is for that purpose of that court day in the future.
Right.
Perfectly wise thing to do.
Amen.
Okay, thank you.
All right, God bless, Paul. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Because Racer did lots of research on it today.